Hello there, gang, and welcome to a very different episode of Displaying Model Behavior. I'm going to take you guys through Tokyo Comic Con. Myself, Wani, and Ace from Ramen Toys, we went there last month, and there was a whole lot to see and even more to do. You want to hear about it? Here it goes. So I thought it might be fun to have me just pop up kind of randomly throughout this video and talk you through various things as they're happening. Because honestly, for me, when I'm watching a walkthrough and things like that, I don't know, I get a little bit bored. My attention span, it can only be measured in nanoseconds. So to have this goober up on screen telling you what's going on as you see it, well, yeah, I thought it might just add a little bit of melody to the video. It's going to be
key area entrance. Look at that. So you can actually wait here.
Yeah.
For the celebrity to come.
Oh, just to see them come.
Just to see them.
Bro, these guys are celebrities. They can buy their own presents.
Yeah, they can buy their own things.
Sorry, who are you excited for? Oh, she likes the Tom Hiddleston. You know, he's not all that.
Oh my God, Sal, I'm not going to be really. Your Cumberbatch is here.
And baby, you didn't bring him a present though.
I didn't look.
I'm gonna have to tell him you didn't bring him a present.
Don't be a snitch. I mean, I can't put myself in the box now, can I?
No, I can assure you, you cannot.
I can't. I can't. I will.
But what if I could, eh? Gang, gang. And here we are in Comic-Con itself. And honestly, I got a little bit giddy. We only went for the one day, but hand on heart, I could have done all three.
Title of your sex tape.
He's inside my head.
It's bigger than your head.
It is.
Yeah. I kind of dig the Nightmare Before Christmas duck. He's cute. Yeah.
It's cute. Oh my goodness. They don't even sell this in the park. They don't even sell this one at the park. It's cute.
If the Marvel bags were kind of man-sized, I would
Kenji has
not
one.
sure.
He has a Spider-Man. He has a Spider-Man one.
Yeah, but Kenji can pull that off.
Yeah, he can. He also pulls off onesies. Oh, come on.
He's a special cat. There's an accidental hair catch.
Yeah, I was like, is someone touching onesies? Oh, come on.
Not intentionally. Not intentionally. Now, these are the kinds of things I really love to see at conventions. It's not the big, huge corporate displays. It's the small, independent retailers who have all sorts of old school little hidden gems. Each table is like an Aladdin's Cave of Wonders. And for me, first of all, just seeing those Terminator figures, that was great. But then, this Venom right here. Oh my goodness. He was going for about $100. So crazy expensive. But like, you look at that card detail. Mint on card, baby. Not a blemish. It's like it was put in carbonite back in 1995 and has just remained there ever since. And I tell you what, it turned out all right, because even though I didn't buy that one, it just so happens I was in Adamski the following week. What did I find on my travels? Boom! The exact same Venom. Not nearly as minty fresh, but also half the price as well. I think that was Kismet telling me I had to add him to the collection. And of course, since I used to be the Terminator, those T2 toys will always have a special place in my heart, especially because they are specifically T2 3D. They are merchandise from the show. So, you know what? I actually forgot to double back and pick one up. So I guess it'll just have to be next Comic-Con. Yeah. 2,000 yen for the Silver Man. Then the other part I love with these different stalls is rummaging through the bins. Just call me Oscar the Grouch, because I got no problem rifling through the garbage to try and find some gems.
I'm displaying.
You are displaying, baby.
Hi.
That's as model behavior gets. But the 90s cardback figures, there's a reason why Hasbro and Marvel Legends are doing these retro-style cardback figures. Because they're gorgeous. They're just absolutely beautiful. The 90s style with Wolverine and the really obscure ones like Jubilee in her Generation X gear, all those kinds of things. I could just look through these boxes all day, and given the chance, I probably would have. God bless Ace. He was being very sweet, kind of engaging Juanita in conversation while I was just rummaging through like Alfred Steptoe. This dude was absolutely crazy. I loved it. No idea what the idea was. He's a policeman, but he's doing South Park references. I mean, I'm down with it. Just, you do you, man. You're adding to the atmosphere.
Yeah. Oh, do you want to do that?
Okay. Now, a little tradition that Juanita has is that every time she visits somewhere new, she will take a photo of her dropping down into the splits, just because it's a fun little gimmick. I kind of dig it. And this time she chose the Ninja Turtles to be the recipients of the splits photo. And you know what? I think it looks pretty darn good. It's actually a really fun movie, that new Turtles movie. It's really good. It's really good. And speaking of the Ninja Turtles, we had this whole section here that had the non-NECA Ninja Turtles. We had the Loyal Subjects Ninja Turtles. We had the little weird cube ones that are a fun gimmick. It's like, not necessarily for me, but I kind of dig it just for the innovation. And then they've got the figures from Mutant Mayhem, which is one of my favorite films from last year. So much fun. But those ones, they're kind of cool because they're clearly cheaper than the more sort of high-end Marvel Legends, G.I. Joe type figures. But also for the demographic that they're serving, I think they're perfect. They look great. They look like the characters from the film, and they're more affordable for the kids who are actually the ones, keeping the franchise alive in future generations. So it makes sense to do figures that they can afford as well, not just us. Then we've got these awesome 52 toys doing Capcom characters, and when I'm looking at them, I'm just thinking, oh, Marvel versus Capcom, come on, guys. Because these aren't quite 1/12 scale, they're a little bit smaller, which is cool if you just want the Capcom characters, but, I mean, come on. We grew up on Marvel vs. Capcom, and we've got the Street Fighter characters. Just give me more 1/12 scale Capcom characters. Let's build out that whole roster with Marvel Legends as well. Oh, that would look so sweet.
We do.
She's living the dream.
Hey, darling.
And now we've got the cosplay parade, which was just going on through the event hall while we were walking through. That was really cool. It was good timing. And I was so impressed by the amount of cosplayers. People weren't holding back. I was wondering, being the first Tokyo Comic Con to really be in full swing since the little hiatus because of the thing that occurred for a few years, which we don't talk about anymore, I was wondering, are people going to be into it? Are they going to be enjoying it and embracing it like they used to? Yeah, people have been just chomping at the bit to do Comic-Con again. And like these guys, the Ghostbusters, love it. Japanese Ghostbusters, man. That's awesome. And it was great because they were trying to get everyone involved, and you know what? People were. No one was being too British about it, including the British guy. I was there. Freaking Ghostbusters. Love that. I really love seeing Japanese or any other nationality of people embracing more Western characters and just making them their own. I think that's really lovely because it shows how much these different characters and these cultural pop culture icons completely transcend different countries and nationalities. Wolverine is awesome no matter what country you're in, and anyone can cosplay as him. So when you see that, it's just really sweet. I don't know, maybe I'm getting sentimental in my old age. I just think that's really wholesome. And we also have an appearance from the 501st. Is it 501st? Yeah, the Stormtrooper garrison. They have their Japanese chapter, so they're always in full force at Comic-Con. The Ninja Turtles make an appearance. We got Oogie Boogie, and this was really impressive. Wolverine from Wolverine and Deadpool, or Deadpool 3. That's really impressive. Like, the dude must have knocked that costume up in a matter of weeks, because it wasn't that long ago we saw this for the first time, and he's like, I got a Comic-Con idea. And I gotta say, he nailed it. With the sleeves and the pads and the paneling and the armor, absolutely fantastic. That was one that really, really impressed me. And then, again, Dragon Ball Z. I recognize the character, don't know who he is, but he still looks really fun. And then we have muscle baby man person. You can see I'm glancing down because I'm playing my footage in front of me on my laptop. And yeah, I don't know who that character is, but fair play to that dude. He's jacked. I gotta get on his supplements. This creature, this robotic, I don't know what it is, but it's adorable. One actually tracked him down later, and he offered her a flower, and she gave the little Filipino love sign. It was just, that was a moment. That was really sweet. Again, I'm getting sentimental. And it seems that different parts of the procession have different themes, because now we've got this very kind of fantastical Japanese mythology type section of cosplayers and performers. And some of the, this lady, this fox lady with the multiple tails, I've got no doubt there must be an actual name for this character or creature. I don't know what it is, but it's quite mesmerizing. Really, really amazing work that's gone into those costumes. I was thinking of editing down that, but I thought, nah, all these people deserve to be seen. Speaking of deserving to be seen, oh my goodness, we got to take a little bit of time to look at Hot Toys and Sideshow, because they're just always a beautiful thing to behold. The Iron Man with his gantry, that's great. The Tom Hiddleston likeness on Loki is almost creepy. And then we got the Spider-Man, which of course, there was no way I was going to go to Comic-Con and not pick that guy up. I mean, when a 90s Hot Toys Spider-Man is released as an Asia exclusive, that's just the universe telling you, Dave, you need to spend silly money on a Spider-Man. And I did, and I regret nothing. And we just saw the Wolverine there as well. That's one to get excited about, because they're also making Magneto and Thor as well. I'm not going to get more of those, but I would have been tempted, because that Wolverine looked great. I should have spent more time filming him, but hey, Dave from last month, he got overexcited. And then you got the rest of the Spider-Man MCU characters, and two things, money and space. Man, if I had more of both of them, yes, I would get the entire Sinister Six, because each one of them, they all look incredible. And the final swing suit. But if I had to choose between either the MCU or Sony Spider-Man, as in PlayStation Spider-Man, we're about to get to those guys. And here they are, fresh off of my PlayStation hard drive. We've got Symbiote Spider-Man with the legs coming out the back, which honestly, I'm not a huge fan of the design style of those legs. I think they're a bit too big. It looks like he has scaffolding coming out of his back. Nonetheless, though, it is still quite cool, but really, that giant Venom man. What was it, 19 inches of Venom? You can see it on display right there. I know X-Manny put a pre-order in for that. More power to you, dude. I can't wait to see your review of that guy, because he looks amazing. And then Spider-Punk there as well. You know me, not a huge fan of the Spider-Verse sequel, but the design, artistic style of Spider-Punk, amazing. And the Hot Toys version, yeah, that looks really cool. And now we got a little bit of Star Wars, and it's always going to be a contentious subject with me. You know that. Why am I so salty about Star Wars? Because I used to love Star Wars. Whew. used to love Star Wars so much, man, and that's why it hurts to see what it's become. But there are still some gems there, and Hot Toys know how to mine that. Characters like their Count Dooku, I mean, he looks amazing. I wouldn't want him, because looking at him would just remind me of the Clone Wars, and I don't ever want to watch... No, not the Clone Wars. That's not fair. Attack of the Clones. I do appreciate the Clone Wars is meant to be quite good, but at the same time, I just can't get over just the terrible story choices made. Then you got Darth Vader, who will always look wicked. Even when he's in terrible shows like Obi-Wan, he's still Darth Vader. So that's always going to look badass. And we actually do have the Obi-Wan next to him. And again, this was kind of such a shame, because seeing Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi, decked out in his robes in that kind of transitionary phase between episodes 3 and 4, that's wicked. It should be wicked. It wasn't, but it should have been.
This is the TV show, yeah. No, he's like, remember that time when I had the high ground? I bet you do, you metal bastard. Look at you now. We just got here and it's a bit overwhelming. It is. Yeah. Yesterday? It's so much bigger. It's so much bigger than it was last time.
Like yesterday was massive. Like there's so many people. It's just even. Yesterday was.
And then I got to show a little bit of love to the Hot Toys DC EU figures, because, yeah, ultimately that film franchise, it might have been a dumpster fire. But we did get some good-looking figures out of it. But the main one I love is the recolored Christopher Nolan Batman, who I know, obviously, that's not part of the DCEU, but I just love the blue and the silver doing the old 1960s classic Batman style in that costume. I always get so bored of Batman in the movies just having this all-black costume, because heaven forbid you put some colors in your comic book character. No, it has to be dark and gritty, and it has to make sense. Why would he have colors in his costume? Well, why would he dress up as a bat? You know what? Criminals are not actually that cowardly and superstitious. Maybe they're cowardly. I don't really think there are any criminals down Crime Alley going, oh, it's a giant man bat creature. No. They're just criminals, all right? Just wear some color in your costume, pal, okay? Stop being so beholden to making it a serious movie. That's why, honestly, I could never really jive that much with the Nolan movies. They just felt so pretentious. Can't stand a movie that loves the smell of its own farts. It's one thing you'll always get with Model Behaviour. Not farts, but no pretension. No pretension here, pal. When you're as much of a dum-dum as I can be sometimes, you can't afford to be pretentious. Then we've just got another one of those great little market stalls with a whole bunch of old figures and some new figures as well. The McFarlane figures from Blue Beetle, I think they look really, really good. Still haven't seen Blue Beetle. Like everyone, I've heard that it's a good movie that should have come out 10 years ago. It would have done really, really well. But coming out last year, people were done. So I don't think it really got the fair shake that it deserved. But the figures, especially the big red robot-looking dude, I think he looks great. You throw him in with some cosmic characters, he would look right in place. He wouldn't look out of place. That's what I was trying to say. Then we got a whole bunch of Super 7 reaction figures. I'm not a big Super 7 person at all, but I do just love the very kitsch, camp kind of pop art sort of design of these. Definitely if you want to have them pinned up on your wall, I mean, they're very striking. So I can totally appreciate the appeal.
I really was. So finding a Godzilla -1 figure, I could be tempted. Hey, gorgeous girlie.
Now this is a real rarity. Seeing NECA in person in Japan, that just doesn't happen. Nowhere stocks NECA figures. NECA and McFarlane, those are the two that are like gold dust. So seeing these monster universal mashup turtles, that in itself is something I was not expecting to find. And then you got the whole Halloween ones as well. But you're seeing, of course, all these figures are, at least a year old? Probably about a year and a half, pushing 2 years. So we can get NECA over here, but they certainly take the slow boat to get to Japan. And when they do, they cost a pretty penny. The Star Wars props are always kind of cool. I don't know about you, but R2-D2 always looks bigger in person than he appears on screen. On screen he seems like this little dustbin wheeling around, and then you get up to the actual prop thing in person, and you're like, geez, that's pretty chunky, actually. I mean, to be fair, it had to fit a human being inside, so I can appreciate he needs some room to move. And then we got the Christian Bale Batman suit. And yeah, like I said before, all black, just with a tiny bit of gold. I want more color. And my other big caveat with that design was that the mouthpiece was always too small. That was why he always looked so silly. Because he just had this tiny little mouth hole. And it's like, no, that looks terrible. And then Robert Pattinson's one goes too much in the other direction. It's like there's nothing back here at all. So still trying to get that sweet spot. You know who had the closest to the sweet spot? Affleck. Still the best Batsuit of the modern era. Easily. Then we got the Jada Street Fighter figures. Only a very tiny little display there, but still. So good to see them, especially Bison. Cannot wait to get my hands on that. 2024 is going to be the year of Jada Street Fighter. Just bring them all to me. I will display them with pride, and it's going to look pretty. And even though I'm not a Mega Man person, I got to say, the Mega Man figures look great. And again, Marvel vs. Capcom display. That's somewhere you could fit in perfectly. I might have to do it. Then we've got ourselves Artist Alley. And that actually prompted quite an amusing conversation where Juanita asked, why do you guys keep referring to this as cheesecake? And I had that moment of, okay, how do we explain cheesecake? So I could explain what cheesecake artwork is, but then also the question is, why do you call it cheesecake? And I don't know. Cheesecake is sweet. It's good enough for me.
Yes, Lady Joker. She looks the business.
We didn't take many photos, but this Lady Joker, yeah, this had to be done. To be honest, I saw her and thought, that's my thumbnail right there. This exhibit, this I loved. Full Godzilla display. They've got the mashup with Evangelion, and I don't really know Evangelion, but I recognize the designs and the weird fusion of the characters. Yeah, that's wicked. That's like kaiju body horror. That's a whole subgenre I didn't even think I was interested in, but here we are. I think it looks amazing. Then you got some more of the classic monsters like Gamera and Ghidorah as well. I'm just racking my brains there. You can see the cogs turning as I went, what are they called again? It's the three-headed one from the meme. Ghidorah. That's it. Just wait until I find out I'm wrong now. I'm not. It is Ghidorah. And there's Gamera, like I mentioned. And it's interesting that Gamera and Godzilla never actually been in the same movie together. No, always been different franchises.
That's Gamera. He's a turtle. Essentially, he's a turtle.
Maybe. Who would win?
Love me the Godzilla -1 design. And the little chibi version there, that's wicked.
I mean, it was always going to be a bit of an uphill struggle for Kong.
I don't know why they even made them.
This whole diorama is awesome. Godzilla vs. Kong, I don't have like a snooty film snob problem with it. It didn't really grab me at all. It wasn't terrible though. It was just a mindless popcorn firework display of a movie. And in that sense, it was okay. But these guys, they put together a pretty awesome display for it. But the movie of the year for me last year had to be Godzilla -1. And this, oh my goodness. You want to talk about money in space? Yes, I have no idea what this would cost, but if I had the money, I would be willing to pay it. Because just look at this. Even though it's a statue, could you imagine if this thing was articulated? You would be talking a lot of zeros at the end of that price. But just looking at this in the display cabinet, it gets me wondering, where does this go after Comic-Con? Because it would break my heart to think it gets boxed up and then put in a warehouse somewhere. No, something like that needs to be on display, because this design that they did, it just is the perfect melding of old school and new school with Godzilla. They nailed it. And then outside, just as the same with any Comic-Con, you've got the cosplayers all congregating and taking pictures and just kind of showing off their wares. And one that really tickled us was the Christopher Nolan, which is just a dude in a suit with a cardboard mask, but it's so effective. You see him in the suit, the slacks, the business jacket, and then you put the camera on there, like the widescreen IMAX, and it's like, Yeah, that's Christopher Nolan. Pair him up with any of the Batmen. That's a great photo op. Now that does it for Comic-Con, but we weren't done with Tokyo. There was one little stop-off that we had to do before we called it a day. Turns out, because I'm with Ace, and Ace is the person to be with when it comes to traveling and toy hunting. This dude knows everything that's everywhere, and he informed me that Tokyo has a mandarake, so it would behoove us to check it out.
So Ace, where are we headed?
Mandarake.
Mandarake. Let's do this. Oh, dude, I'm so happy already.
So Mandarake, which is a second-hand bring-and-buy type store, is famous for just having everything under the sci-fi kind of umbrella. If it's pop culture, deep cuts, monsters, comic books, kaiju, you name it, Mandarake has a section for it. And in this instance, they had an entire building. It was vast with different shops all over the place. A lot of super obscure stuff. I had no idea what any of it was. I would have taken more footage, but nearly everything was in a glass cabinet, which just meant that when I was filming it, all you get is just a reflection glare coming back. Not the best YouTube video. Like, this is the best YouTube video, you know what I'm saying?
It's just lots of cool stuff, baby.
Ignore the prices, they are just numbers. It's not.
Yeah. Don't soil this moment with price taggery.
You can't go wrong with a few more kaiju, though. So I had to throw in some footage of that Godzilla, or a couple of Godzillas, and another Gamera as well, because, yeah, they just look wicked.
Are you flossing, baby?
Yep, we've reached flossing time. God bless her. She was bored.
Some really vintage stuff.
Oh, okay. Oh, proper vintage.
Deep cuts.
Yeah, that's proper tin toy. That's my little vintage girly.
Now, this is the store that I wanted to find. I didn't know that I wanted to find it, but it turns out I did, and it had so much cool stuff. All the 90s card-back action figures. More than you could shake a stick at. That's an antiquated phrase. David Mack Kabuki figure. This is something that I saw years, like decades ago, and I just forgot that it even existed. But then seeing it on the shelf, I thought, yeah, I think I need that. So I got it.
Character.
Oh, he created this.
Yeah. This is his artwork on the back. He's a stunning artist. I could be tempted to get that actually. It's only 3,000 yen.
Actually, this kind of stuff is not that.
You want to make this Christmas present?
Baby, that would be lovely.
I did.
All right, there you go. Look at that Christmas present.
Wow,
Thank you.
I didn't know this was.
And then Lasher, from the same line as the Venom that we saw previously. This is how you do Lasher. Marvel Legends, look at the size, the heft, the girth of this guy. Granted, he's only 5 points of articulation, so you lose a little something there, and that does take away a lot of the fun factor. But just the heft of that figure just makes it look wicked. And again, minty fresh box as well. How? I don't know how these boxes are kept so pristine. They must have just been in shipping crates that were never opened for 30 years, just sat in some warehouse, and then someone cracks them open with a crowbar and goes, the hell is Venom the Madness? And another Aladdin's Cave junk box of action figures. But you know what? Amongst the trash, there's quite a bit of treasure, including Overpower Scarlet Spider, which I think might be the first ever Scarlet Spider figure. Stop me if I'm wrong. But when I saw it there, yes, absolutely, that was a no-brainer. Of course I've got to get that. And even I have to laugh at how big of a kid I am myself when I come running over to one and I'm like, hey, look what I found. It's Ben Reilly, the Scarlet Spider from the Overpower line. Do you know how rare this is? I mean, she arguably wasn't as excited as I was, but she could tell it was a big deal.
Say on here.
And folks, that does it for my little Tokyo travel log. I hope you enjoyed it. This was kind of an experiment to test out the new equipment as well, see how this works. Hopefully it made for a fun video. You'll be pleased to know that after all of our adventuring, we went to this great ramen place and I literally ordered the biggest bowl of ramen that I've ever seen in my life, to the point that even I couldn't finish it. And I am a walking dustbin that will devour all food put in front of him, but even I had to tap out and be like, yo, I'm done. But still, that was a great end to a great day, and I cannot wait for Comic-Con this year. 2024 is going to be even bigger and better than last year. I've got no doubt about it. And big shout out and thanks to Ace for Ramen Toys for technically being tour guide and showing us around some awesome places. So gang, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for bearing with me while I test out all of this new equipment. I hope that it will lead to better, hopefully more professional looking videos. Maybe more professional looking, not necessarily more professionally presented. That's still a work in progress. But gang, thank you for your support as always, and until next time. That kind of worked. Keep displaying model behavior.
Coffee, big time coffee.